Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class 8. I hope you all are safe and sound at your homes. Today we are going to start a new chapter. The name of the chapter is The Mox Turtle Story. That is chapter 12 in your book, and that is the chapter which is the last one in your final term syllabus. After that chapter, we have only one poem is remaining, that is called To the Evening Star. But today we are going to start the chapter. Kindly open the page number 108. First, I am going to give you a quick review or the background of the story. This story basically adopted from a novel that is called Alice in the Wonderland. So the background of the story is that Alice Adventures in the Wonderland, commonly shortened to Alice in Wonderland, is an 1865 novel by English author Lewis Carroll. It tells the story of a young girl named Alice who falls through a rabbit hole into a fantasy world populated by different creatures. It is considered to be one of the best examples of the literary genre. Let's talk about the character of the Alice. Alice is a fictional character and narrator of the Lewis Carroll's children's novel Alice Adventures in Wonderland. Alice unintentionally goes on an underground adventure after accidentally falling down a rabbit hole into a wonderland. In the sequel, she steps through a mirror into an alternative world. So let's the reading begin. Kindly come to page number 108. First, I am going to read the chapter for you guys, then I will explain it to you. Alice is in the garden with the teachers. You will meet a strange queen and other strange characters too in this make believe world. You can't think how glad I am to see you again, you dear old thing, said the duchess as they walked off together. Alice was very glad to find her in such a pleasant temper and thought to herself that perhaps it was only the pepper that had made her so savage when they met in the kitchen. When I am a duchess, she said to herself, not in a very hopeful tone, though I won't have any pepper in my kitchen at all. Soup does very well without. Maybe it is always pepper that makes people hot temper. Kindly underline this. She went on, are very pleasant at having found out a new kind of rule, and vinegar that makes them sour, and chamomile that makes them bitter, and the barley sugar and such things that make children sweet tempered. Only wish people knew that, then they would not be so stingy about it, you know. She had quite forgotten the Duchess by this time and was a little startled when she heard her voice close to her ear. You are thinking about something, my dear, and that makes you forget to talk. I can't tell you just now what the moral of that is, but I shall remember it in a bit. Perhaps it has not one, Alice ventured to remark. Child, said the Duchess, everything's got a moral, if you only can find it, and she squeezed herself up to closer Alice's side as she spoke. Alice did not like her keeping so close to her because the Duchess was very ugly. However, she did not like to be rude, so she bore it as well as she could. The game is going on rather better now, she said, by way of keeping up the conversation a little. You guys can see the picture which is given below on page number 109. So, said the Duchess, and the moral of that is oh, this is love that makes the world go round. Somebody said, Alice whispered, that is done by everybody minding their own business. Oh, well, it means much the same thing, said the Duchess, and the moral of that is take care of the suns, and the sounds will take care of themselves. How fond she is for finding morals in things, Alice thought to herself. I dare say you are wondering why I do not put my arm around your waist, said the Duchess, after a pause. The reason is that I am doubtful about the temper of your flamingo, that is the name of the bird. Shall I try the experiment? He might bite, Alice replied, not feeling at all anxious to have the experiment tried. Very true, said the judges. Flamingos and mustard both bite, and the moral of that is birds of a feather flock together. Only mustard is not a bird, Alice remarked. Right, as usual, said the Duchess. What a clear way you have to putting things. It is a mineral, I think, said Alice. Of course it is, said the Duchess, who seemed ready to agree to everything that Alice said. There is a large mustard mine near here, and the moral of that is the more there is of mine, the less there is of yours. Oh, I know, exclaimed Alice, who had not attended to this last remark. It's a vegetable. It doesn't look like one, but it is. I quite agree with you, said the Duchess, and the moral of that is be what you would seem to be, or if you had like it to put more simply, never imagine yourself not to be otherwise than what it might appear to others that what you were or might have been was not otherwise than what you had been would have appeared to them to be otherwise. I think I should understand that better, Alice said very politely. If I had it written down, but I cannot quite follow it as you say it. That is nothing to what I could say if I choose, said the Duchess replied in a pleasing tone. Pray don't trouble yourself to say it any longer than that, said Alice. Oh, don't talk about trouble, said the Duchess. I will make you a present of everything I have said as yet. A cheap sort of present, thought Alice. I am glad people do not give birthday presents like that. But she did not venture to say it out loud. Thinking again, the Duchess asked. I have a right to think, said Alice sharply, for she was beginning to feel a little worried. So, student, that was the reading of the page number 108 to 111. Now it's time for the explanation. After the explanation, I will give you the home assignment. In these particular lines, the Duchess is friendly so long as she thinks that Alice is listening to her. And she thinks that Alice is not, she is not interested in Alice after having someone listen to her. Her insists that everything has got a moral, while being unable to remember any makes it clear that her viewpoint about moral is ridiculous. In fact, Carol uses the Duchess to mock those who are always moralizing to children, but for the way they intrude on children's life. The Duchess tries to find a moral in everything in much the same way that Alice tries to understand her environment in terms of cause and effect. The Duchess remarks that everything got a moral if you only can find it. Her statement shows that Alice understanding that everything she encounters should result in a lesson of same kind. Alice fails to understand to recognize that her perception with rules resembles the Duchess with moral. So class 8 we have almost complete our half of the chapter. Your today's assignment is you have to write down the correct sketches of Alice and Duchess in a paragraph. And previously we have done two questions in the last classes. Question number 1 is about the picture description, and I have also given two questions from the books page number 119, question number 1 and question number 2. I hope you guys are completing your work on time. Thank you.